Hi, I'm going to give you a guided tour of how to use Remind Me Care, or REMI as it's often called. Here we are in the home page of Jane, the family administrator, who's responsible for the needs and indeed setting up REMI for Richard, who's in the Cedars Court care home. And here we can see the buttons that she can use to initiate activities, and we can see a list of all the recent activities that Richard has been involved in the Cedars Court care home. We can also look at the recent topic he's engaged in, the last playlist he's played, and indeed the group activity he's been involved in. Or we can visit his calendar and see all the activities and schedule future activities, such as a Skype call or a family visit. Or we can go through to the areas that relate specifically to Richard's My Story or his playlists, or more activities such as cognitive stimulation therapy and quizzes. But we're going to start with clicking on Upload and Discover, where Jane can either upload her own content to build topics and activities for Richard, or can discover content using the internet. If we click on Discover, you'll see that we're asked to add a term. So if we were to put in, say, Richmond Park here, then the system will bring up content that Jane can choose from to illustrate the topic that is being created. Click on any of these and they will be saved in that topic. But if we were to do the same within family content, such as uploaded here, we would be able to source the content from her computer, whether it's an image or a video, choose the file and upload it and add notes. So this is a means to find content that we think is going to engage Richard. Now, if we return back to Jane's homepage, the next thing we can do with Richard when we're with him is to hold a conversation and illustrate that with multimedia content. And it's a similar process. We add in the search term, and let's say this was Buckingham Palace. Then we would search on content, and with Richard, we would choose the content that most appeals to him and which he is responsive to, and click on it and save it, and that will be recorded in the conversation. And we can then continue to open these, in fact, and can add notes, like or dislike them. We can update family, and we can even go to the internet and find more content about that particular image. So we end up having created a conversation that can be used in the care process. Now, if we return back to Jane's homepage, you'll find that the next thing we can do is to record activities. So if Richard was gardening, we will be able to click here and click there and be able to upload images, or indeed use the camera in the tablet to record images, and of course add notes, and they will be held in this area here. All activities that are undertaken in REMI are recorded and used for reporting purposes, so that the family can keep track of all the activities that are being undertaken, either by them or by the care facility. So if we leave the activities area, we are here into the home page, Richard's home page. Here we can take a look at his My Story, or we can look at the activities he's recently undertaken. Again, we can hold a conversation, but we can also go to more tools. And we're going to start here because it's here that we set up the care circle, can view the calendar, can also record an activity again, and set up his health and well-being data that might be used by the hospital. And we can also see what the care home has been adding in here. So if we click on Care Circle first, you will see Jane Arthurs is the family admin, and she has invited all of these family members into the care circle. If we click into Jane Arthurs, we can see that she has the ability to send messages to anyone in the care circle, and indeed to receive messages. And if she clicks on here, then she will open up Skype to be able to use Skype as an engagement process with those in the care circle. These members of the care circle are going to be part of the care process. They will receive email updates on any activity undertaken and will be asked to provide information in relation to new discovered content that is engaging Richard. So if we leave the care circle, we will go back to more tools, and I'll show you quickly health and well-being, which is where knowledge of Richard is held For example, in Caring for Me, we can see that the family have uploaded at the point of enrolment knowledge that they have of Richard's food likes and dislikes, daily routines, pain and well-being, and important people. And of course, this has changed through time by the care home and indeed by the family if they so wish. You can click on My 6 Things, and this will show you the 6 items that were recorded by the family at the point of enrolment and which define Richard. His favorite food, his favorite music, TV programs, and so forth. But if we go back to the home page of Richard, and we'll go back into more tools again, we can see that we have covered all of these items apart from the calendar. And if we click into Richard's calendar, here we can view those activities that he's undertaken. They're automatically entered. They don't need to be manually entered, except for those that the family wish to. For example, an impending visit by his brother and his sister and a Skype call. But the activities themselves are automatically entered as they take place. And we can see it's his birthday as well. So if we leave the calendar, we've completed more tools. So we have Richard's story, his recent activities, and a means to run a conversation. If we look quickly at Richard's story, we can see here that it's a library, a compendium of all that we know about Richard. And this is content that is uploaded remotely by the family and indeed which is discovered during activities. So if we click here, then you'll see that you have a means to know a lot about Richard in one click. So here we have our library of Richard, and we have topics that are in the sequence of most recent usage. He's last looked at Buckingham Palace, which we did ourselves. And before that, we were looking at Richmond Park. In fact, Richmond Park was created by Jane, who uploaded the content, and Buckingham Palace was a conversation that Jane held with Richard. Before that, he was looking at Shakespeare. We have a video of his favorite goals with the family voiceover, in fact, because you can record your voice over videos, or he can be recorded live talking about the videos. So we have a lot of knowledge that can be very quickly accessed, and indeed a new carer can very quickly learn about Richard, that the family can view and participate in engaging in. But if we leave my story and move across to one of the other activities, we can go straight into Care Circle from here, or we can, as I say, proceed to group activities. And it's in group activities where we can take a look at quizzes, for example. We can see all the activities that he's engaged with in the care home. And indeed, we can run them ourselves, perhaps during a family visit. We have jigsaws, idioms. These are a collection of his favorite cars. Most of these are either ready-mades that have been loaded into the system and which are there ready to be used, or have been created by the care facility. So that's a quick overview of the system. There are, of course, reports that will be delivered by the care facility to those in the care circle. And again, at the bottom here, we can see a summary of activities that have been engaged in by Jane, and also there will be a listing of new functionality as it arrives. Thank you.